Okay. Mr. Schwartz, I'm going to rephrase my question to you shortly. But first...
Was I not distinct enough the first time?
And I agree that Mr. Walker raises some valid points. However, the only germane issue tonight is the Newtown Corporation an organization among whose purposes is the preservation of architectural heritage in Newtown Borough? If yes, then the resolution's accurate. If no, then the Newtown Corporation has provided to the Liquor Control Board in support of a special event permit application for an alcohol-related event in another town an inaccurate resolution. The wider relationship among the borough, the township, the Newtown Corporation, we've talked about that before, we'll talk about it again. It's fine to talk about it tonight, but that's not the issue that's on the table. And whether the township thinks, a township supervisor thinks that the Newtown Corporation is great or isn't great is of no consequence with respect to the issue of whether the Newtown Corporation is or is not an organization among whose purposes is the protection of architectural heritage in Newtown Borough. Mr. Schwartz, you're on the design committee. Do you have a budget? Or
answer the question. There's no regard for budget. The question is that part of the purpose? He's already told you there's no budget. He hasn't done any planning for 2 years. You're asking him a specific question about, is that the purpose, one of the purposes of the Newtown Corporation? Yes or no question?
Can I ask the question? My question to you is, you're on the design committee. Does the design committee have, are funds allocated from the Newtown Corporation budget for the design committee?
Just one moment. I have the budget here. Yes, I have a budget.
Okay. And I'm trying to help you here. I'm not cross-examining you. I'm trying to help you here. As the chairman of the design committee, would it be your intention, your hope, no, intention, not hope, your intention that it be among the purposes of the design committee as a committee of the Newtown Corporation to preserve or protect the architectural heritage of Newtown Borough?
For the year 2011, I will have a proposed budget. I will have a proposed list of agenda items that will include the historic preservation of architecture in Newtown Borough as well as Newtown Township. As of 2010, no. There is nothing in the budget. There is nothing in the design committee's report or desire to accomplish anything within the year 2010.
Okay. So,
is that a yes or no?
Sometimes you have to rephrase the question again. So,
to answer your question distinctly, there is an arm of Newtown Corporation that will be working towards the architectural and historic preservation of Newtown Borough. Yes.
And could I ask that be done, will that be done regardless of whether Borough Council gives you a laundry list of what it wants? Is it an intrinsic purpose of Newtown Corporation that there be some preservation of architectural heritage in Newtown Borough?
It will be done into the extent that there are finances available to meet that, and there is the ability for someone or some organization to write grants to propose and to complete these things in the year 2011.
Thank you.
Can I
Sure.
thank you for Perry. That was actually getting to the heart of the matter. You know, I was concerned about that section, and you got to it. Oh, Mr. Schwartz. Well, I'm sorry. Because you're the chair of the design committee.
I was hoping I was done.
The actions of council, we should always remember, are for the interests of the Newtown Borough residents. And I just want to ask you, as a resident, do you feel that this resolution supports the interests of Newtown Borough residents?
Are you asking me as a resident of Newtown Borough?
As a resident, do you think this serves the Newtown Borough residents?
Yes. Is that all?
Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, I mean, don't leave the room. I love an element, but-
Well, I'm going to let Josh go first. I'm going to let Josh go ahead, please.
Josh Hornstein, 21 South Lake Avenue, and I'm also a board member of the Newtown Corporation. I just wanted to add that if Corky were running the Newtown Corporation, we wouldn't be in this mess. So I just think you saw a great demonstration of why Corky should be running the Newtown Corporation. But that's just my personal 2 cents. Mike, I just wanted to say to Bob, if you give us a laundry list, I'd love to preserve the architecture
Well,
in
you
Newtown.
shouldn't just ask me, you should ask council.
I'm sorry.
I did respond to what I thought the Newtown
Well,
Corporation could do.
my answer to you is, have you given us a laundry list? No. Would I love a laundry list? Absolutely. Do I think the board members, except for Corky and Dave, would vote for it? Absolutely not. That has been I've been on the board since April. Every action that I've tried to introduce at this board to preserve Newtown, to preserve the borough, to do anything that was borough-focused has been voted down. I would love to do that. In fact, at the next board meeting on Thursday, I'll introduce a resolution to preserve the architecture of Newtown Borough. I guarantee you it'll get knocked down because Frank Tyrell and the other board members don't want to do it. So my answer to you is I'd love to do these things. I'd love to change the focus of Newtown Corporation. I'd love to, I guess I'm just more pointed than Corky about this. I would love to do these things. I'd love to make the intent of the resolution by the council actually true. It's just not true. This facade grant that we're talking about is $4,000. The corporation, we just got the financials today for August. The corporation has spent $93,000 this year. $4,000 is for this grant that was supposed to be spent 2 years ago. The corporation has lost $83,000 this year. We have lost $83,000. We have $55,000 on hand. It's just a mess right now, Bob. I would love to fix it. I would love to get in there with my hands. The current leadership now just will not let us do that. If you had somebody like Corky putting things together, we'd actually have a focus on the preservation of the architecture of Newtown. So my answer is, please give us a laundry list. Please tell us to do these things.
You agree with me that we, the collective, we, the township and the borough, should have been supplying information to the Newtown Corporation for direction. We've been trying to do that for the last 3 years that I can recall. Okay? And as I said earlier, we're talking at each other, we're not talking to each other. With respect to your observation about a loss by definition is if there are expenditures to operate an organization, it isn't necessarily a loss. They don't have as much money as they had at the beginning of the year, but they have operating expenses, and they would have had those same operating expenses if the organization were still what it was under Chris Ortwine. They'd have been paying her salary, et cetera. They would have had expenditures. So please don't characterize it as a loss. That offends me, okay, from a finance standpoint. They are down money, but they haven't necessarily lost money. They're spending money differently this year. And while we may not agree with it, they're spending money differently this year. And I'm glad to hear they still have $55,000 on their balance sheet because I didn't know that either. So thank you for that information.
Okay. Well, first, my objective here is not to offend you, Bob. So let me just start out by saying that. The second part is I've seen the budget, unlike you, so I'll actually present it. The money that they're actually projecting to earn this year is just is a fantasy. They're projected to earn $55,000 in marketing income. Do you know how much money they've earned in marketing income this year, Bob? $4,000. So if you take their projections correctly, they are going to earn $51,000 in marketing income in the next 4 months. Now, to me, that's a loss because there's no way they're going to earn that money. They're projected to earn $50,000 at the Brewfest. They've earned $19,000 so far, Bob. The projections last year at Brewfest were they earned $100,000 with $60,000 in expenses. They've spent $0. I'm sorry, they spent $30 on the Brewfest so far. That's as of the end of August. If you think they're going to earn $50,000 at the Brewfest this year, that's fantasy land. So it is a loss. It's a loss this year, Bob. They've lost this money. So I'm sorry if it offended you, but these are the facts of life. That's why I was put on this board, was to present the financials of this corporation in an honest manner. I'm sorry if that offends you, but I don't know what else to say except these financials are just hurting this corporation. We're losing money like crazy. And I've been on this board trying to tell the chairman of the corporation to stop doing these things, and he keeps doing them. And the majority of the board, who was appointed by the township, keeps doing these things as well. There's nothing I can do, and my hands are tied.